My first interaction with plants, the thing that made me fall in love with plant science, was actually the Gatsby Plant Science Summer School. So I came into my undergrad degree, I was doing genetics, and I was told by my genetics professor about the summer school. And I hadn't realized all the ways that you could study genetics, which I was already interested in plants. And that was really my first introduction. And from the Plant Science Summer School was where I really built up that love and interest in working with plants and taking forward the thing I was already interested in, which was a different facet of biology, which I got to meld with plants. During my undergrad, I wasn't aware of the diversity and richness of plants that are out there. And it was through learning more about plants and the incredible things that plants can do and the incredible ways that we interact with plants in our world that built up this love of plants. And I'm still learning about it today. And I still, within my field and when learning about other people's field, I still have moments of, I just can't believe that plants do that. So that was something that was initiated during undergrad, but has continued on throughout my career. So my current field of research is chemical ecology. So I study the chemistry of chemical attractants, the way that plants interact with pollinators is my main focus. And the thing that I find most fascinating about that is you often don't think about the chemistry of chemistry and the way that plants are these incredible biofactories for chemicals that they're using to have conversations essentially with animals across the world and in all different ways. And when we think about these chemical attractants, we think of the incredible diversity of floral color. Flowers are incredibly colorful, and that is all done chemically. And they also, alongside this, are producing these incredible chemical smells that are also functioning. And I find that fascinating because when you think about every flower that you've looked at and how different they are, part of that difference and part of that incredible diversity is chemical diversity. And that's what I'm most interested in. So when I think about my current role and what I enjoy most, I think it's how dynamic it is. There isn't any 2 days in my field that are the same, sorry. When I think about my role, I spend time in the research field, I spend time at the bench, I spend time, synthesizing manuscripts and thinking about other people's work. I get to attend incredible conferences around the world, and I'm always having that layer into not only the way that I engage with my work, but the way that I engage with the world. So the thing that I really enjoy the most about what I do is how diverse it is. And as I've been moving forward as a chemical ecologist and as I've developed in my career, what I've really found super interesting is the techniques that I'm using to address the questions I have about plant diversity are as diverse as the plants themselves. And it requires a lot of diversity in me and my techniques and the way that I think and the way that I engage with things. And so it's that dynamic interaction with my work that I find most exciting. Yeah. So one of the things that I've really enjoyed doing in my field and in my work is field work. I've had the immense privilege to spend summers in the Alps working on fragrant orchids. And not only is that a really beautiful corner of the world, they're a really beautiful system. And I had no idea when I was coming into my plant science career that that would be a thing that I would be doing, is sitting on the side of a mountain capturing the smell of a vanilla orchid. The piece of advice that I would give to anyone starting out in any career, but especially in this one, is to try everything, is to seize opportunities that come up, even if you think, oh, I'm not quite sure, or maybe that's not a good fit for me. That's actually a really important question to ask, because in doing it, you'll figure that out. And sometimes you can try things and have a fantastic experience and fall in love with things. And it's just as valuable to try things and have them not work out and learn that maybe that wasn't for you. But you can't do that if you're not constantly going out there and trying all of the things that are out there and seizing all of those opportunities. So that would be the piece of advice that I'd give to most people, yeah. So I think one of the things that's really interesting about plant sciences is historically people have thought that it's a very sort of insular niche community of research. And what we're finding more and more as future advances go forward is that plant science is having this connection with the way that we study genetics. For example, there are incredible discoveries that happen in plants that get translated, and vice versa. There are incredible discoveries that happen in bacteria and yeast, like CRISPR-Cas9, for example, that are translating back into plants. And I think what's really cool about doing plant science now in this moment is the way that it's so interdisciplinary. It is ingrained within all of the other sciences and feeding back incredibly well with the way that other sciences are developing and the techniques that they're bringing forward as well.